Okay, welcome back. I'm going to see, once again, using the cell phone, if I can kind of show my plans here for the top of the peninsula. I want to get these, I'm calling them trees. It's more like a canopy. So what I'm trying to do, you can see I got two of them in. Those are the two, if you look back through older videos, they've been sitting up there for years. Wire armatures. And what I did was I got some rubberized horsehair, again, that I had for years. Kind of pulled it, stretched it, laid it on top of the armatures, sprinkled it with various foliage, sealed it with some diluted Mod Podge, hairspray, etc., etc. So again, these aren't supposed to be great looking trees because in all honesty, they're not. Consider this my version of puffballs. And personally, and it's kind of a running joke with some of the other local model railroaders, I won't put a puffball within 100 miles of this layout. Just not going to do it. So I'm going to try this, because what I want to do is, you know, trees are big and they're tall, and I think they're a lot taller than most model railroaders think. Now you can't make them like redwoods because it will kind of look silly. But my intent here is, when you're standing over here, you're going to see some other trees in the way. You know, back here in the Lake City area, I kind of want the top of the peninsula hill, mountain, what do you want to call it, knoll, to kind of block the view back into Eugene Yard. So it's not so obvious that the layout really isn't all that big, but that's my intent. So I'm going to try it. So those two are in. They're self-supporting right now. And then the other ones that I have, you can see here in front, are super tree material that I glued onto skewers. Again, these aren't meant to be foreground trees. If they were, I'd do it a little bit differently, a little more carefully. These are just meant to be, and they're all canopy, okay? Like I said, they're my version of puffballs. And I probably don't have near enough, but it took a long time just to do these darn things. But I'll probably have to go back out and do some more. So these are ready to be installed. Again, I'm just going to build them around. Hopefully it's a nice dense canopy. And then as I get down the hill, you can kind of see, this is some of that horsehair or filter type material. Get right down to here is where I want it to be, you know, forested, let's say. And as I get these, let me step back here, super trees in, and we'll see how they look. Some of them look kind of silly to me, but we'll see when I get them all packed in there nice and dense. And then at the bottom edge, I'll probably try to go around with some of the MBR trees that'll look a little bit nicer, a little more detailed, a little more foregroundish, and then transfer over to the lower scruffy type stuff coming down the rest of the hill down toward the tracks. I don't know if I'm going to keep this stuff. This is some Silflor stuff that I don't know if I really like it, but we'll see. Might be able to rescue it. So that's the intent. So I'm going to try to get these super trees planted in and around, and again, nice dense foliage there at the top of that peninsula. I also made some smaller ones with some drop pieces. These can be various. Some of these I might use over on the other embankment, just little, you know, bushes and whatnot, since I was making them up. They look pretty good for that. For super detailed trees, no, but for, you know, that kind of stuff, yeah, they look fine. You know what I mean? You know, down along the edge, they look pretty good. Okay, so we're going to give this a whirl, and then we'll see if I can pull this stunt off. Again, I'm really not sure I have enough of these super trees, canopy type trees made up. Probably going to go back and make a bunch more, which will be annoying. But anyway, we'll see. Okay, let me get planting here and see what this peninsula tends to look like. Oh boy, it didn't take long to swallow those trees up. All right, so there they are, and that's kind of the intent I was after. You can see how it kind of blocks the view back toward Eugene, and you can see I need several more trees, and you can still see through the bottom, but that'll be fixed. You know, I think it's going to be okay. Now, I can always come back in to the canopy here and stick in smaller pieces, stick in, you know, some of the filigree embouchure, because now it's all canopy, and you know, you're not really even supposed to see the individual trunks at this level. So not too worried about that. I think it's going to look just fine. May need to do some trimming if anything looks a little weird or wonky, but you know, let it sit here and stew for a little bit. I am definitely have to make some more, because you can see I have to come down quite a bit more here on this side if I want to come down, you know, a little bit more. Probably need probably need a dozen more or so of these big trees just to jam them all in there. And then when I'm at it, I could probably make some, again, if I wanted to, you know, stick some pieces in there. There's the one of the original armature ones, a little bit lower. But the nice thing about these on the skewers is the bottom end is pointy, and this is a foam hill. So planting them is real simple. I dab a little bit of glue on the bottom of the skewer, stick it in. I can push it in as far as I want to. So overall, I think it's going to work fairly okay. So you can see how that looks. You know, even from this side, it'll be kind of nice, kind of be a little bit of a view block. So we'll see. And then you can definitely tell I need more. Now I wonder if, like on this backside here, if I could start transitioning to the MBR trees. You know, I've never done this before, so I really don't know. Of course, I could always try it, and don't like it, just, you know, try something different. So, but I think I can definitely say I'm going to need some more of these type of canopy trees as we kind of drone around and see what it looks like. Again, so if you're back in here in Wallace Junction, it'll kind of be a little bit of a view block as well. Not really the fair view, but over to the far corner there. Okay, so let's all right, let's see what else we want to do, how far down I want to come, and how many more of these pains in the asses I got to make. And they are a pain in the ass to make. I've complained about super trees before, and I'm sure I will again, but they do work. So just shut up, Rob, and get to work. All right, more to come. Okay, we're back. I got some more super tree canopy trees made up. I think about 10 more. I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Plus, when I was doing it, there were several super tree pieces that actually looked okay. Again, they're not great trees, but they'll be fine for the canopy area. So those are, where the heck are they? Over on the workbench. All right, I'll bring them over. So what I did with these, now that we're starting to come down the slope a little bit, probably be hard to tell, but what I did on these is I tried to kind of favor, here's an example. It's kind of, it's not really flat, but it's designed to be back with this side being facing out. So there's several trees like that. There's still a couple that are a little bit more round, but many of them, even this one here, if I look at the right way, the back is somewhat flat. So again, these type of trees, since we're coming down the hill, we're going to set in and be pushed way back. Oh, way back against there, somewhere in there. So that's the plan. And they look a little bit wonky sometimes. But again, once you get them all in and all pushed together, and then I can always come back and add, like I said, some more canopy on the top, I think we'll look okay. I have a dead one there. That's not where it's going to be. I just had to add a little spike to the bottom of it and just stuck it in there so I don't forget it. So these other trees are ready to go in for round 2 of the Peninsula forestage, and we'll see how it goes. I did start to add a lot of some deadfall. Probably should be more than that. It's amazing if you go out and look in a wooded area anywhere how much deadfall there actually is. You'd be surprised, but you got to go out and look. So I also sprinkled in a bunch of other kind of ground up leaves and other forest floor paraphernalia in there. Probably should add some more deadfall, at least down around the edge where you're going to see it more, because it truly is amazing how much there really is in there. Okay, so like I said, I got 10 more. On some of these I added a little touch, just a touch of the start of some fall foliage. Again, because I'm kind of modern. I'm a modern railroader. I'm modeling. I'm saying, late September, early October, perhaps, early fall. And up here along the lake, it does tend to turn, the foliage tends to come a little bit later. So they're just starting to come in there. So like I said, got to get this in here. We're not looking bad on this side. A couple more to bring it down. Then switch over and probably use some of the MBR trees, although I'm running out, to make the foreground, the very, very front trees. And we'll see how the whole thing looks. All right, more to come as we get some trees planted here. Well, okay, that was, whoo, man, those 10 trees went fast. That just swallowed them up like a model railroader swallowing up new Rapido PA1s. All right, so definitely have to make some more. You can see probably, I don't know, I'd probably just make 100 more, because there's other areas I got to do. Anyway, it just, man, it really, really swallowed those trees up. So I definitely need some more over here, because I want to come down to about this area and then put the MBR trees in. Gonna have to play with the canopy a little bit. And one problem that I'm gonna have, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let me slowly drone over to the other side of the peninsula. I don't know how I'm gonna reach. You see that area right in there? Like right in here. I need to put a bunch more. Here's kind of what, these are some of those super tree pieces that looked okay. Now it needs to be filled in a little bit with some more foliage, but that's kind of the concept. That brings it down kind of to the edge, so to speak, of the forest. Then I'll put some lower shrubs and bushes and whatnot to blend it into the more fieldy area in front of it. But that area there and along the front, from here, well, I might be able to reach that from the other side. I might have to take that power pole out, or I'm going to destroy that. I don't know if I can reach that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Damn it. So you want to be a model railroader, right? But that's kind of the concept. What things are, I'm hoping they're going to look like. Obviously needs a lot more work. And that's probably all I'm going to get, all the further I'm going to get for a little while, because we're getting close to our Division 12 mini meet. So I'm going to have to stop, working on the layout and getting it cleaned up a little bit for any visitors that might pop in. And then get to this, after the mini meet clears up and I make a bunch more of these dang things, which I really don't like doing, but you do what you gotta do. I think it's gonna look pretty good once I get it done. The only issue is, again, I really don't know how I'm gonna reach into there to get, I could see 2 or 3 more layers of trees like this coming down. I know it looks kind of funny with them. They're like popsicle stick trees. But I think once I get the foreground trees in and kind of hide the fact that those trees are just basically sticking up in the air, then add some more foliage in the top to make it look like there's even more trees packed in there. Clean up the area here at the bottom down here with some more, again, that can probably just be super tree stuff kind of stuck in there to make it look like it's a little fuller. I don't know. I'm gonna need to get one of those dang creepers to be able to reach in there, because I literally can't reach, even if I stand on something. If I do, I know what I'll be doing. I'll be laying on top of this farmhouse, which will, oh man, talk about hearing some harsh language. So, all right, more to come, but this is how we're looking so far. And now I got to go back and make, I don't know, probably 24 more of these or so just for this area here. I actually even stole one from back here along this hill. I'm going to do the same thing back there. But there was one sitting there that was kind of made up with like a half to the front. I said, hey, look at that. Doink, grabbed it and threw it in, and now I can't even tell where it is. It's all swallowed up there. But all right, starting to babble. All right, more to come as we make more of these. Probably be about a week or so, though, until I can really get back to this seriously. We'll see how it works out. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to reach this stuff, but ugh. All right, more to come. Oh, man. All right, there's round 3. 12 more of those canopy trees put in there. And the dead one. I decided to put that. You can see where it's sitting there. Man, I don't have any more. Man, I'm getting any more trees made, and I'm getting low in material. I would like to have come down a little bit lower down the hill here. You can see I did add some more deadfall back in there. I think maybe from here I can start doing the lower level transitioning. I think I can make it work. I do have 2 really, really big super trees made to be more like foreground trees that I might be able to put in here somewhere. That's where I was thinking of putting them, because they're really gonna be pretty nice trees, I think. Made out of the super tree material and skewers and adding bark and whatnot, so we'll see. So I came down here. I think I can make this work. Down at this end, I got some lower shrub and stuff in here. Apologize for the shakiness as I walk around with my cell phone. I was able to reach, kind of get this area there, so I think that's okay. Obviously, you need a little bit more at the lower level. Lower level. Coming around here and whatnot. So I think we'll be okay. Because I really am running out of super tree material. That was almost 3 boxes of it. Amazing. Now you can, or I can, or one can still make some pieces. And I have some filigrane busha too I probably could use to fill in. You know, you can kind of just, now it's canopy, so now you can just kind of stick it in there. You don't need to worry about trunks or do anything crazy like that. So that is how that's looking. That's kind of what I figured. Maybe a little, you see, I see things like this and I wonder, should that be sticking up? But like, you know, wait, easy. It's a freaking wild forest. They don't grow in real nice symmetrical patterns. They just kind of go wherever the trees feel like going, and they can get to the sun. Okay, so time to work down at the lower levels here. Bring that transition so it looks good down to the foreground, and we'll keep plugging away here. Alrighty, so here we are on the other side of the peninsula. And I'm starting to walk around. You can kind of see how those 2 large trees look with the fallen branch. Oh, and don't panic about the laid over high tension line. That's going to go back in. It actually sits right in that little opening there. I just didn't want to be hitting it when I was doing all this shenanigans here. And I may come back in and do a little bit more foreground, lower type shrubbery before I actually put that back in. And then maybe even try to string the wires. I don't know. But if you look, tangent alert. So there's one out here. And then we run down, and there's another one right here. And in theory, they run over to those 2 there, which then change the direction to go that way. So I'll probably stop it there. Because way back in time, before I did all of this, I was going to have a substation sitting right here. And there were going to be lines that came into it. But kind of got taken over by other events. And that's the way it is. But I could certainly string it from here to the other 2 out toward the end of the peninsula. So we'll see. All right, so that is the way it's starting to look. Let me just do a little bit of a drone back so you can see how it's kind of coming together. I like it. I am happy. Look, to me, now I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but to me, that looks a lot better than puffballs. I don't know, it's just more 3-dimensional. You can kind of look in. You can see some of the, trunks of the trees. I really like the way these 2 look here. I'm really happy with those super trees. And now they kind of blend into the teddy bear fur field there, and then down to the little town there of Lake City. So, okay, so that's how things are going right now. Let's, my finger. Let's get back to work and see how we can get this scene finished off. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up as well and say this is, again, done good enough. This is the actual view. Where I'm standing is kind of right where an operator would be, for the most part, in Lake City when he's working the industries and whatnot down there below him. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. The view block, again, so you can't see it directly back into Eugene Yard. I think it accomplishes its task. You can always come back in and fiddle with it, but I like it. There are the two large scratch built, I guess you'd call them, super trees. Super trees. And then I did do a lot more work on this embankment on the inside. I didn't change the teddy bear fur field very much. That's pretty much as it was for all time. But this embankment has been worked on. Again, just more bushes and shrubs and grasses and deadfall and yada, yada, yada. You can see, again, little touch of fall foliage starting to creep into the mix here. And there's some real subtle stuff up there in the canopy. And there's the dead tree kind of sticking up. And I did leave some areas so you can kind of look in and see. So you think, oh yeah, it is a forest. Okay, cool. Or at least a heavily wooded hill. And then again down here, some more work along the inside embankment. There's some more of that Woodland Scenics pourable water. Now that one is done a little bit greener, so to speak, with just a little different color. Again, very easy to color that with acrylic paints. Another dead tree down here, a little further down. That's in a little bad state. Probably going to fall down all in one eventually. Some more deadfall. It's amazing the amount of deadfall that is there. Just go out and look, and it's really incredible. So this is the scene looking back along the Coive. And I said on the outside here, I didn't do a lot, and I'm probably not going to do a lot just because it is right next to the aisle, and I'm afraid, well, I know what'll happen. People walking by, and if two people pass each other because my aisles aren't nearly as wide as they should be, you're going to be breaking stuff. So just keep it low. I can always come and put some lower stuff in. But for the most part, I'm really not going to do a whole lot out there. And then I did, as we continue our drone here. This is the front side here. Again, more bushes, shrubs, details. I did a lot, bringing it down. There's actually more than you can't really tell because I don't think I have an exact, really good pre-work video or photos, but there's a lot of work down there right by the tracks, bringing things out, and additional hecky stuff there on the embankment. Yeah, another deer. What can I say? Again, I don't like to go crazy with that, but I do to some. The power towers are in. And a little bit of detail around the base of those. And they're both in, and I don't know if it shows up, but there's a little birdie perched there on top of that. That's really hard to see. A lot of people are going to miss that. And then the other one's done as well. So this area, like I said, I did add some more of that Woodland Scenics water underneath the bridge. Probably hard to see under there. When I get to the other side, with just a little bit laying on there. Figure that's where water would collect after it rained and whatnot. So, gotta go slow here. Zooming back again. The left or the inside is pretty much the way I'm going to leave it. The outside, again, not going to do a lot. Because I will be honest, my aisles, I really cheated this aisle here. Really only one person can comfortably pass there, given the girth of most of us model railroaders. So I don't want a whole lot along here. because it'll just get broken down. So, all right. And then, of course, this is the other side of the canopy tree set. Brought it down again. There's some MBR trees, and there's some of those, actually, there's some smaller of the super tree materials in there, stuck in there. And again, a little touch of fall foliage. Have you noticed it? Come in right there, just a hint. And then down along in there, and again, there's the other power pole that was put in, and I did a little bit of work around the base of it to kind of blend things a little bit. Now it's actually set and glued in with some Beacon 3-in-1 glue. Some trails up there, and there's those two uber trees sitting in there. So the overall scene from this side, again, it accomplishes what I want. Is it perfect? No, but it's only a model railroad, so I'm not too worried about it. I think it does good. I did do, like, I'll make this carefully drone back here and see if these water areas, and they're right under the bridge, so it's dark under there, I realize that. But those two areas are there. Again, that's just mixed with a little bit of that mud, Vallejo acrylic mud, and then you pour it in there. This might be 3 or 4 levels, actually, or layers, actually. You build it up slowly, about 1/8 inch at a time, and then you just come back in and do it. It's very, very, very good product. I like it. So I did add, I think, a little bit more on this side, just a little bit. Getting a little bit risky there with those bushes, but they're pretty robust. And they're glued in with the 3-in-1 glue. If you hit those, they're probably going to be okay. And I did do a little bit of noodling around here on the inside of this embankment. But overall, I think that looks fine for what we're trying to accomplish here. But a little bit more was done. I did do on the left side, or the aisle side of the embankment, again, a little bit more. Some more bushes and shrubs and just things thrown in there to kind of tie it all together. Pretty much up to the bridge is all I did. That's what I'm calling the Peninsula. Pretty much straight across the road bridge here, across through these power lines, and then over by the back side of the industry there. To the right of that was all kind of worked. So I walked back into Wallace Junction. Again, this is where you would be standing right about here if you were switching. So that's the view you have. I mean, I wasn't really trying for a view block this way. But again, it's just trying to make it look so when the operators are in a town doing something, they feel like they're in the town. And they can't see everything super easy. I can't really accomplish that greatly, because you can see the layout is pretty open. But overall, I think it looks. I'm going to do one quick pause. I'm going to go over to Eugene and look back toward the Peninsula, so you can see, again, what I was trying to accomplish in terms of a view block from that perspective. Okay, so here we are over in Eugene Yard, doing our thing, doing our work. And as you slowly turn this way, and you look toward the Peninsula, and I know I got to work on it. A lot of people are saying they hate this, and I get it, but I think part of the problem is, to me, tangent alert, it's been there for a while. So it's kind of like that wallpaper mistake that you made, to you, you know where it is, but it kind of blends in. Maybe someone that hasn't seen it comes in and goes, oh my God, that looks horrible. Anyway, it's just a model railroad, so I'm not overly really that concerned about it, but I'll tell you something. Okay, back on track. So here's the view when you turn, looking out the Peninsula. Again, I did kind of block things. You can't see directly into Fairview anymore, which is over there. And you can't really see all that well into Lake City. So that's all I was trying to do, just kind of create some separation in the different areas of the layouts. Then again, as you pan over, Wallace Junction there on the right, around the back far end. Then you come around out of the tunnel to the embankment and the bridge scene, already covered in other videos. And you're back into Eugene Yard. Okay. So that is the Peninsula tree and scenery, actually, area. So it's all done. Well, again, 95, 98%. So, okay. Thanks for watching. If you slog through all of this, do appreciate it. And stay tuned. I got some more videos to post up.